Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Harrison School for the Arts. My name is Kevin Levine, and I'm the principal here. And before our Symphony Orchestra concert tonight, we have a very special presentation as we will be inducting Mark Thielen into the Harrison Hall of Fame. I'd like to begin by explaining just a little bit about the Harrison Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame selection process was established by a committee in 2015 where they designed an application that highlighted 3 different categories of potential nominees. A person could be nominated as a Harrison alumnus at least 10 years post-graduation. A candidate could be nominated as a retired Harrison faculty or staff member, or a nominee could be presented as a friend of Harrison. That would be a community supporter whose impact on the school is significant. I would like to take a moment to thank the Harrison Alumni Relations Committee for evaluating the nominations for the Hall of Fame, and I also want to express my appreciation to the Harrison Parents Association for their financial support of this important project. And now let's tell you a little bit more about this evening's inductee, Mark Thielen. With 45 years of teaching orchestra in Polk County, Mark Thielen is arguably one of the most important and influential figures in music education in the Central Florida area and the state of Florida as a whole. He was a charter member of the faculty at Harrison and conducted the Harrison Symphony Orchestra until his retirement from Polk County Public Schools in 2005. Mr. Thielen is a highly sought-after clinician and adjudicator and has conducted numerous all-county orchestras and has also conducted all-state ensembles in both 2009 and 2014. He is a past president of the Florida Orchestra Association and has presented countless clinics and workshops at state conferences. In addition to being a public and private school teacher, Mark Thielen has served the Lakeland community through the Imperial Symphony Orchestra for 45 years. He served as concertmaster and associate conductor for 25 of those years before becoming the ISO's music director and conductor in 2000. In addition to his time with the ISO, he has been music director, musician, or actor for around 50 musicals in the area and is active at the First United Methodist Church in Lakeland, where he sings in the Chancel Choir a cappella praise. I'm now going to ask Mr. Davis and Mr. Lambert to each take a moment to come share some more thoughts about Mr. Thielen. Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Mr. Levine. I'm so happy to be here and be part of this award for Mr. Thielen. I've known Mark Thielen for about 15 years since I've been here in Lakeland. But even before that, when I first moved to Florida many years ago, I of course knew about Mr. Thielen and the Harrison Symphony Orchestra. And I can tell you that this orchestra and this orchestra community would not be what it is today without his work. Although he's not the first orchestra teacher in Polk County, I feel like through his 45 years of teaching, the orchestra program in Lakeland and in Polk County grew immensely. And so I feel I'm great in debt to his service as well, all these students and past students as well. I consider Mr. Thielen a great friend of mine and mentor, and I'm lucky that we share lots of conversations and I'm able to talk to him about everything orchestra or not orchestra, and he's very much always giving stage advice, so I really appreciate that. So, Mr. Thielen, thank you for everything, and congratulations.
So I met Mark Thielen in the summer of 1985, just a month before I started high school, when I played in a pit orchestra for the Winter Haven Community Theater production of Pirates of Penzance with Mark conducting. My next experiences with him were in 1987 in a pit orchestra at Lakeland High School and a theatrical production there of Little Abner, and some after-school Lakeland High School full orchestra rehearsals during my senior year of high school. The next time I met Mark was as a new colleague in, I think it was May of 1994, right out here in the parking lot at the Harrison graduation. As a 23-year-old new band director and just finishing my my second year in the classroom, I spoke with Mark right outside the Harrison parking lot here after graduation. I told him how excited I was at the opportunity to work with strings, and in true Mark fashion, he gruffly responded, "Just make music." He gets it. And then literally walked away from me. Okay? It reminded me a little of his manner on the podium while I was still a band nerd back at LHS. At first, many would say that this response was this is just Mark's way. But after knowing him for over 35 years, I know that it was the content of his statement that evening that still resonates with me, not the delivery. You see, those three words describe Mark so well. Whether it is in an orchestra, concert on a stage, or in a pit for a show, or working with a concert band as a consultant, or listening to my after-school jazz band in the late 1990s, if you could call it that, or conducting the choir, which he also did for a while, or playing in a group himself. That's just what Mark does. He makes music. And he makes making music the most important thing, always. Case in point, Lakeland High School already had a stellar orchestra program, which Mark had been building since 1976. Mark told me in the early days of Harrison, he witnessed kids who were the best of friends before our art school began go separate ways because of the arbitrary school association. In the interest of making music, as well as keeping friendships in his students' lives, he combined the LHS students and Harrison students and performed as the Lakeland Harrison Symphony Orchestra, which we did for quite a long time. And he continued to make music. Through all of the crazy things he saw then, he made music. Through all of the changes over all of his years in the classroom, he made music. And it's those three words that I still think of every day. Since he retired from Harrison in, I thought it was 2006. Mr. Levine said 2005. I think spring, close enough. Yeah. I've seen quite a few changes in the classroom myself, and who could ever have predicted the craziness that we're living through right now, yes? But I keep hearing those three words, just make music. So thank you, Mark. We are all better because of your work as a teacher and mentor, and may we always remember to just make music.
And now, would you please give a warm welcome and help me congratulate the newest member of the Harrison Hall of Fame, Mr. Mark Thielen.
Thank you so much, Kevin and Rob and Matt, for those kind words. I'm very honored this evening. I can't come into this auditorium or come into the school. I come in here a lot without COVID, but that's not going on, to work with the orchestra from time to time and give some lessons as well. And just about every time I walk into this school, I think about that first year that Harrison opened up. We had 19 in the orchestra, and that included the strings, the winds, and the brass, and the percussion. We had 19. Every day the students would get on a bus and go to Florida Southern. In the old band room there, where the risers were about that tall, unbelievable, and we had orchestra each day. We had music theory at the college. We had all the music classes at the college. And finally, of course, this wonderful auditorium got built. And it's an amazing journey, and we have many people to thank: Tom McDonald, John Stewart, the visionaries for seeing that, is this possible in Polk County? Are you kidding? Polk County? And I think they said, yeah, it is possible in Polk County. And so the first year is kind of parallel to this year in that we had a lot of challenges. Number one, there were editorials in the paper. Why are you starting an art school? We don't need an art school. It's too artsy for us here. It's too expensive. Are you kidding? Each student's going to get $1 million. Well, they don't, but that's what they were saying. There's just no reason for the art. So we as a faculty sitting, I don't know where, probably in the cafeteria. We were giving performances, by the way, in the LHS cafeteria. I think the fellowship at my church, one concert or two. But we were determined that we were going to make this school a success, no matter what it took, because not everyone was behind it. There were a lot of people that, of course, were. So we had challenges. Now, they weren't as dire as they are. I'm certainly not comparing it in that way. But the faculty came together, and what we wanted to do was just make music, just dance, just act, just draw. That's all we wanted to do. And it was really a cool faculty, and it's so many years ago, but it was a lot of fun, a lot of challenges, and of course, we did make it succeed. So we were fighting for the school's life at that time. We had to make it work, and thanks to those people, my good friends in that original faculty, that we did make it work, and so we started to grow. And eventually, Rob, like you said, came along, and we went through a lot, didn't we, Rob? We went through so much good, and not all great, but we built this group from the 19 that we started with to probably 95 to 100 students on stage for several years. Fine orchestras, just like the one you'll hear tonight. And then it got to a point where they couldn't handle all those orchestra kids, so then they made a second orchestra with the strings, and then they added a jazz band and creative writing and filmmaking, and this school is so amazing. And it's certainly a crown jewel in Polk County schools. There are great schools in Polk County, but I know this is great because I see it. I read about it, I hear it, what they do. So from the bottom of my heart, and these two gentlemen, that's what they do. They just make music. And that's what they want to do. They don't want to hear spouting off about all the problems in the world. They want to just make music, with a mask or without a mask. There's a great line from Jurassic Park from the original Jeff Goldblum, the scientist. Well, how do these dinosaurs live? Because life, they will find a way. The arts will find a way, and it did find a way. Imagine there are still students in this country still taking Zoom calls every day and not having orchestra, or not having band, or something like that. So the fact that these students are face-to-face, even with these two yahoos, anyway, no, they're wonderful, wonderful friends indeed, and I appreciate all that they do, and I'm sure these students do as well. But as an old-time faculty member, I know the students and the parents, you will think after your kid graduates, I'm so glad my kid got to go to the Harrison School for the Arts. I'm so glad I got to be a part of that as a parent. And believe me, the teachers here as well, the retirees like myself and the ones that are here, is every day perfect? No, but guess what? I bet they say to themselves many times, even in COVID times, man, I appreciate this school so much. So we appreciate the students and all their work, but the teachers, we appreciate them as well for all the work that they do. But they do appreciate the fact that they get to be here at this school each and every day, just making music. So again, thank you so much. I will cherish this award, and I will be around. Don't worry about it. COVID will be gone, but Thielen will be here to inflict his wrath on you. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.